Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 24th of September. Starting with the FTSE 100, which perhaps slightly surprisingly has delivered multiple failures through 92.50 and is struggling to hold the floor of that June rising trend channel. But we went dangerously close to the 50-day line, 91.67, which we had factored in, but obviously when you actually see it happen, it was slightly concerning. I want to see an end of the day close back above 9200 in the floor of that channel to keep us on track for a move up to as high as 9500 by the end of next month at the top of the channel. Obviously, at the moment, that looks rather unlikely, but if we can't stay above 9200, we have the risk of a test of September support towards the 9100 zone. RSI right on the 50 level, so we're not really helping us one way or the other at the moment, apart from the fact that we are still just on the neutral level. Moving along to the DAX, which already tipped down a few days ago, but we are notionally still in that rising trend channel from back in April. The floor of the channel there around 23,400. Above that, looking for the 50-day line at 23,960 is the top of the range. RSI still below neutral 50 at 45, so that does give us or tell us that there's a risk of testing for support at the 200-day line. 22,700 as a worst case scenario target on the downside. On to the Dow, which in the recent days has been in a different world to the European markets, but yesterday did succumb to a bit of profit taking. You can see that while we were still on the right side of 46,000, we did come back from a temporary record high. Top of the channel there, 47,700. That's what we're looking for by the end of next month, at least while we're above the main broken resistance here at 45,000. Moving on to the cryptos, and the first one is Bitcoin as usual. And here you can see that still on the floor of that rising trend channel from back at the end of February, beginning of March. The level here, the market's bouncing out to around 111, and above that, we're looking for the top of the recent range towards 118, but we can only expect the top of the channel there up to 133 by the end of next month. We can get a swift break back above 118 and a swift break back for the RSI back above neutral 50 versus 44 at the moment. If we do break down, then it's the old 10 of the month support there on 107, which is the perceived downside at the moment. Ethereum is next, and here the rug rather painfully pulled, or rather irritatingly pulled, depending on your view. But so far, we've held the August support there, mid-August support around 43, around 4070 rather, and basically while we're above that, looking for at least a rebound back to the 50-day line there, 4397. Best case is that we stay within that rising red July trend channel and can get up to as high as 5,300 by the end of the next month, although at the moment doesn't really feel like it. We'd really like to see the RSI back above neutral 50 versus 39 at the moment to get us back in a proper bull mode, and obviously back above that 50-day line, which is still rising to be fair. And obviously we had the bounce off the mid-August support as well, which is a plus. On to gold, and here it has been rapidly heading towards the top of that channel there, which has been there for quite some time. April channel heading for 3870 now, and we were looking for that by the end of next month. It looks as though we could even get that by the end of this month if we're very lucky and behave ourselves. Upside value while we're above the initial September resistance around 3680 on an end of day close basis. This looks like a mid-move consolidation breakout, so actually 3870, perhaps the minimum on the upside that we'll get over the near term there. Moving on to the stocks, and quite a few of them, maybe too many of them. First one is Artemis, which is riding, at least steady after its recent fundraise. The message previously was that above the 50-day line at 0.3, we're looking for the top of that broadening triangle there from the turn of the year, size 0.58 by the end of next month. Obviously, the easiest thing to do here is to wait for an end of day close through 0.4 pence mid price, especially after the latest RSI 50 rebound that we have had. Moving on to Ascent, which has recovered quite markedly over the last 24, 48 hours. Here you can see that we've gone up to, or we've managed to get through the level we wanted to get through, which is 0.43 on an end of day close basis. That's become support today. And really, there's nothing much left on the chart between the June peak, 0.55, and the old May support, 0.8. So basically, end of day close above 0.55, and we could be looking at up to 0.8 pence by the end of next month. I think no fresh news here, apart from the arbitration claim nearing, but that is obviously something which is for us to look forward to over coming months. And it's interesting that the market has responded well to that so far. But above 0.43, 0.55, and then up to 0.8 on Ascent Resources. Moving along to borders, and here you can see that been in a rising trend channel since this time last year. The market toying either side of the top of that channel over the last 6 weeks or so, level around 11 pence. So we want to see a break of 11 pence leading to up to the upper parallel of that rising trend channel as high as 15 pence by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay up at the 50-day line and get to the target of 15 by the end of next month. So above 10, looking for 15 on borders. Moving along to Catenai, and here you can see that another attempt at breaking to the upside. Here we've got a sideways shuffle, as I call it, above a rising 50-day moving average. In fact, it's a rising 50 and 200-day moving averages there. So run up to a golden cross, normally the strongest part of the cycle, helped along by multiple bounces at RSI 50. So we are looking for 0.5 pence by the end of next month as a minimum with that kind of strong setup. Cadence has delivered the goods for the, or at least on the chart, well, I suppose on both the fundamental and the charting basis. We've hit that 6 pence target right on the nose, which I think we were looking for by the end of next month. We obviously got it by the end of this month. Next level up is the level or the resistance on the way down, which was 8.5 pence back in 2023. So we're looking for that by the end of next month, while we're above the 6 pence area, or if we can get an end of day close above 6 pence. Interviewed Capital Metals last week or over the weekend. I think the interview was released, and it's been a good response so far, up nearly 9% today. Unfilled gap to the upside earlier this month, and we already hit our 3.9 pence target. Next level up is 5 pence, and we're looking for that in coming days. You can see, looking back, that the main resistance here is actually at 6 pence. Hopefully we'll get that by the end of next month while we're above the 4 pence level. The other point to note is that there are multiple RSI 50 rebounds, and then of late RSI 50 plus rebounds, which tends to be an even stronger leading indicator on the upside. On to Cloudbreak, which has had some news today, and here you can see that we gapped higher to start the week, and we've held that gap. Previous target here around 0.7, above that, obviously looking for a retest of the resistance last month towards 0.92. Looking for that in coming days. Best case here, up to while we're above 0.7, up to the old peak from 2023, as high as 1.75 pence, which I suppose would be an ambitious target for the end of next month. On to Defence Holdings, which has been an absolute dream in terms of the upside here. Here you can see we've got this rising trend channel that's been in place since April. The top of the channel actually now heading towards the 4 pence area. Looking for that by the end of next month. Obviously, we've hit the channel quite hard today, so maybe there'll be a bit of retracement, but above 3 pence, certainly looking for the 4 pence area by the end of next month. Moving along to a requested stock, which is Europa Oil and Gas, and here we've already had the stock in our sights, but looking for the initial target there at 1.07. Above that, looking for up to 1.3 pence by the end of next month, if we can stay above the old August resistance at 0.97, or get above the old August resistance at 0.97 on a weekly close basis. Nice move today for future metals, gapping through our previous target, which is always a nice thing to happen, at 1.17 pence. Above that, we're looking for the upper parallel of that resistance line there from November, which is 2 pence by the end of next month, or even sooner. This stock looks as though it is on a decent push, especially given the way that it's rising on no news. So presumably some news is imminent, according to somebody buying the shares. Moving on to fusion antibodies, and here we've had a mid-move consolidation breakout, second time lucky through 17.6 pence. Our target here was up to 22 pence once we broke 14, and that's obviously what looks as though we will get over the next couple of days, or at least the next few days. But upside now at it while we're above 18 and three quarters, and probably time to look at potential new target here, which I think at the moment, and this is just a sort of a preliminary guess, would be towards 32 or 33 pence by the end of next month as a best case scenario target while we're above that 17 to 18 pence area. Was secretly hoping that Genflow would be the next biotech to rise and rise well, and so far that is happening. 2.5 pence, basically the target here, and we're looking at that by the end of next month, while we remain above the top of that gap there, around 1.4 pence on an end of day close basis. We've had a nice RSI 50 plus rebound and various RSI 50 plus rebounds since then. A stock that I don't look at very much, and I don't think very many people look at that either, or look at it either, is Oscillate, but it looks as though the shares have responded well to today's news of field work news, in other words. And here you can see we've got a broadening triangle. Top of the triangle there at 0.62. We're looking for that by the end of next month. We're breaking the 200-day line there. 0.42 above that, looking for up to 0.62 by the end of October. So a nice turnaround was already actually happening with the step fashion rises earlier this month. Plus, we've also got the sizzle of the 50-day line starting to curl up as well. So upside valid here, especially while we're above recent broken resistance at 0.35. Finishing off with the punter's favourite, which is actually doing not too badly. We've hit the first target there around 1.5 pence at that resistance line. End of day close above that, we could be looking at 2 pence by the end of next month. The excitement here from a technical perspective is that the 50 and 200-day lines are both rising, and that means there'll be a golden cross in the next week or two. The run up to a golden cross tends to be the strongest part in the cycle. So looking for 2 pence, at least while we're on the right side of the broken May resistance around 1.45. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.